This is weird, and I don't like it. It is June. It is the halfway mark of the year. We are halfway through this calendar year. We are at the checkpoint now. This is the time to check in with yourself and your goals. And it doesn't have to wrap around just food. Usually people are hitting plateaus at this point. And then when they hit the plateau, what do? What do? We go back into the comfort zone of what we know. This time when you hit the plateau, you're going to push forward and get out of that plateau. And you're going to go into the unfamiliar areas that are going to help level you up today. Now the New York is coming out of me because I'm talking with my hands because it's serious business. Ask yourself, is it hard or is it new? That is where we have to be at this checkpoint. Is it hard or is it new? Now, seriously, each time I do a video, I am talking to myself, right? It's like double down. Like I'm hearing it twice because I'm hearing myself record it, then I'm hearing myself telling you. But today it is triple down because I am going through it with this, okay? People think because you've been doing stuff for so long, it gets easier. No, you just learn how to ride the wave. It does not mean it gets easier. School, work, whatever, you level up and you have to learn to adjust on that level. And that's what I'm doing now. And I feel like for me, with cleansing, and I've said this before, you give the space now for that energy that was stale and that was stuck to move around. So that's not just only the good, it's the bad too, because it's got to move. So guess what? The emotions, the mental state becomes unstable. And then that's triggering for you to do X, Y, and Z, right? And this does not just focus around food, although a lot of people have that issue with life. And a lot of the stuff that we do bases around that. At least like when you lash out on yourself with problems where you don't want to talk to somebody. You want to drink, you want to eat ice cream, you want to eat cake, you want to eat some bread, you want to eat a chip. So although it doesn't, revolve around it, it definitely plays a big role. I know it does for me, for real. And I'm gonna tell you something before this video ends. I'm gonna tell you something about myself, okay? This is the moment or the time for you to sit down with yourself and check in with yourself first to remind yourself of why you're doing what you're doing. Give yourself a refresher of your why. What is pushing you? And perhaps you may want to check in not only with yourself, but get yourself a coach, a trainer, an unbiased person that you could maybe vent to. You watched them, maybe a coworker who you could trust and is solid, and you could tell them this one time, or even, this may sound strange, but even a stranger, like let's say you go to the gym or you go to a class, whatever type of class it is, and you only see this person at this class. You could sit there and tell them, because they don't know anything outside of whatever it is that you guys do within that hour and 15 minutes or 45 minutes, however long the class is. So you have options. You check in with yourself, and then you check in with somebody else, and then you ask them to hold you accountable. And that can be challenging, I know for sure. Someone asked me out in the social media world to keep them accountable, and their attitude became sucky, and I said, snip, I am not dealing with that. So yeah, I gotta work on how I respond to people, or how I allow them to get in my space. You should be checking in weekly, because if I feel like 7 days is max for you, especially if you're in troubled waters. Give the person or people the update on whatever it is that you are going through. Do not bug people every day. That's where you check in with yourself. Now, it could be a little different because some people say, hey, check in with me every day. That could help. Maybe that person is going through the same type of challenges. But I know for me, I want to check in with people on a cycle. So like every 2 days, 3 days or more. 2 days is really pushing it, but 3 or more for me with checking in, because I know everyone is going through their own thing. And outside of being maybe a parent, a auntie, or just somebody existing and just having a challenge with your mental daily, can be taxing to hear someone else, chime in with you every day. If having a check-in partner irritates you, maybe that is the area where that's going to help you get past your plateau. Like, oh, I don't want to have to check in with somebody, because guess what? That's going to take you out your comfort zone and make you stay on point. At least I know with me, when I have to report to people or I put it out on social media, I want the change to go. It got to go forward a little bit. Like, you got to see a yin yang. Like, it just can't be, well, I ain't do nothing and I'm just checking in because I'm just checking in. Even if I said, hey, I'm checking in. I worked out for 3 days, although I said 5. I feel like that is showing some type of growth and commitment. And now, if you are the person who I first mentioned, person A, where they didn't do nothing, then perhaps you having a check-in partner is the way to go. On top of having a check-in buddy, check-in partner, a coach, or whatever, if it becomes too much for you, the goal, adjust it. There is no one way of doing something. Like, if you initially said, hey, I want to do 10 days of working out straight, but then now you like, you worked out one day, you like, man, this is a lot on my body. I'm not like I used to be. I work out 10 days these first 2 weeks. That's what you would say, right? Because you're still doing the 10, but now it's like every other day, right? Just make sure to set the goal to a day or a time that's not intimidating. So give yourself shorter time spans. If 10 months, 6 months is just outrageous to you, right? Especially coming from a space of not being focused in whatever the field is that you have this goal to obtain. So I'm going to give myself 10 days and then I'm going to check in. And then it's also about wordplay. So don't say you're going to have 10 essays done in 10 days. 10 is my favorite number, by the way. So, or at least one of them. And numerically, that's 1. But anywho, stay focused, Marisha. Don't give yourself outrageous, not even like saying deadlines, but lifelines. If you've never done something, give yourself time to check in to see at that caliber. Like, break up the 30-day goal to where you check in every 10 days. And I promise you, that's going to be way less intimidating, way more motivating to keep you focused. On top of all of that, I would strongly suggest that you write it down on paper, in pencil, and post it up in a space where you go to every time you get up out of bed in the AM. So then now you're reading it and you're saying it out loud like an affirmation. So now it's almost, as constant as you're making up your bed. You should be seeing it and reading it. That will help you as well. So I'm here and I'm sharing with you what I promised. I said earlier I was going to mention in regards to my challenge or my commitment to my challenge and getting past my plateau. And that is my financial woe. For me, I usually crave more sweets, and I already know what the dealio is, or the salty stuff. I already know what the dealio is with when I crave these things. So if I'm talking angry and to people who I love, I even apologize on a regular, because it's an outlash of me not being able to fulfill a financial part um, of life, or a segment of something, and I'm having a challenge. So instead of me coming out loud and saying, hey, I'm having this issue, I go and eat a chip. Or I'm having this issue and I go and eat some extra sweets or something, because even to me, having a lot of alkaline stuff, all this stuff is still can be draining to me. So I am learning to push myself, because I'm in a unfamiliar space right now, especially now that I moved, and I'm happy that I got the chance to start over, because I am more at peace. But my Aquarius mind just be not all over the place, but I'm moving away from being worried and full of anxiety to being proactive, to saying, hey, how can I operate this energy in my head? But at the same time, this is the plateau for me. So the challenge for me comes with the foods. And instead of me, talking it out, I have the argument in my head. And I'm like, nah, just go and eat this. Nah, just go and eat that. Don't talk, But I'm not losing the battle, but it still resonates loudly to me, because, hey, like, I'm similar to you. We are beings having this experience in these bodies here. So temptation gonna come when I'm strong, not weak. I really do hope that you get beyond this plateau and stay committed to this challenge, and go beyond what you are familiar with, and go into new territories that no one has gone into. None of your coworkers, none of your family, no one. This is just for you. You are going to break the code. You're going to break the cycle of repetition in the negative, the repetition and giving up on the plateau, or at the plateau point, and sliding back. This is for you and for me. We're going to go past this plateau, and now we're going to keep going up, 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 up. All right. We are amazing beings. We are creations and divine creations of the Most High. And I believe in you. And I really hope that you are believing in you too. I wish you well, and I wish you wealth. And until next time, you already know, I will talk to you soon. Peace. Don't forget to get your copy of my ebook, Eat Well, Live Well, today.